And wow, I am y'all 53 hours into this fast, and I'm here to do a check-in to let you know what's been going on, what's been happening over the last 53 hours. As you know, one of the things that I do on a weekly basis is that we do a 72-hour fast, and I'm in it, y'all. more than half the way through. I'm Dr. Dwayne Wood. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here on the channel, I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health, your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. And in today's check-in, I want to spend some time, as we are more than halfway into this particular fast. I want to share with you some of the things that I'm learning, some insights, and find out what's going on with you. My goal for this is to share what's going on physically, mentally, emotionally, some of the nuances, right, that you may find yourself going through as you are with us also going through the fast. I know some of you are out there. So whether you're fasting for health, and that's what we're doing, spiritual reasons, or simply curious about the process, this check-in provides a real-time insight and some real-time information and reflections on the fasting journey. All right, so I'm glad that you are taking time to join me and taking time to hang out as we are putting our diabetes in remission. When we're talking to adults with type 2 diabetes, our goal is to decrease the amount of medication you're on to put our diabetes in remission so that we can be healthy and so we can live the life we've always wanted. That's what we said. We're going to the next level, y'all. So welcome for those of you who are out there. I see Jennifer, actually. Jennifer, hey, how are you? Jennifer says, hello, I'm still on the fast with you. Come on, Jennifer, that's what I'm saying, right? Let me give you some music and give you a hand clap. And Jennifer, I think we're right about the same time, if I remember correctly. So glad that you are there. And I'd be interested in finding out how you're feeling as we're going through the show. Let us know. And you guys know how we do it here, right? So we're I'm going to show you what my glucose meters are showing, show you what my numbers are. Actually, let me pull that up. I'll show you what my numbers are. We'll take a look at blood sugars. We'll take a look at ketones so that you could see what's going on in my body as we kind of move through this process together, right? Let me pull that up here really quickly so you can see, so you know where we're heading and what we are doing. Let me pop that up. Here it takes a minute and boom. So here is our view, y'all. Yep. So that's what we do. I've got my meters, and I remember last night I added a second meter to the one that also gives the glucose and the ketones. I've got another one, and that allows me to kind of double check some of the other monitors, like the continuous glucose monitor that I have. Okay. All right. So that's what we're doing. So Jennifer says, let's see, thought about eating today. Let's go ahead. I'm going to pop that up, Jennifer. Let's see. She said, thought about eating today, thought about it. Stress was high, drank water with salt, and it passed. Yeah. So that's the amazing thing about going through the fast. Usually what we feel, right, we think is hunger, but it's actually something else. And we'll talk a little bit about that here in a minute, Jennifer. I'll come back and we can have some conversation. All right, so let's walk through this. We'll come back and we'll do some of the numbers here in a minute, but let's step through this, right? So I'm in 53 hours, and actually just 53 hours and 7 minutes, right? We're at that mark. So my body has entered a deep state of ketosis, and we'll see that as we look at some of the numbers on my monitor, where it's efficiently using fat, right, and burning that now for energy. So I'm no longer burning sugar. I'm not in the sugar burning. I'm not burning glycogen anymore. I lost that word for a minute. So I'm not burning glycogen anymore, right? So my body is switched over, if you will, You remember that at the 24-ish hour mark, the ketones or the body stops burning glucose, stops burning glycogen, which which it breaks down, because the liver is able to store about 24 hours worth of glycogen. And so now it's switched over to burning a more efficient, for muscles and for brain, more efficient fuel. It's kind of like, and I always tell people, it's kind of like one of those hybrid cars, right? So you're using gas, and when the gas goes low, you can switch over to burn, to use the battery. And the body actually, some parts of the body prefers burning ketones. The other interesting thing is that, a lot of people expect that during the process of fasting that you would be hungry. You get those hunger pangs, and those are not there. Those are not there. I have a sense of lightness. I have energy, and it is a testament to the body's remarkable ability, right, to switch from one source to the other when we don't have food. Now, a couple of things about this hunger that we feel. And we're going to come and do a show on hunger. But a lot of times when we're thinking about hunger, it is not a physical sensation that we're feeling. What we're actually feeling, or we're actually dealing with, is the brain, the mind, telling us to do something. Remember the HEAT acronym that we talked about, HEAT. We eat because of habit. We eat because of emotions. We eat because of access, and we eat because of taste. So often our brain is telling us something, but it is not a physical hunger. Some people confuse that growling, that grrr in your stomach, with hunger, right? But our bodies, in a lot of cases, we're so used to having something in our stomach, right? We're used to eating all the time that we're used to having a full stomach. So when the stomach is empty, that sensation that often we get, that growling, that emptiness that you get, we confuse that with hunger. And so we say, oh, we got to put something in there because I'm hungry. Well, you're not hungry, really. It is just that the body is empty, or the stomach is empty, and you're used to having things in the body. Okay, so that's my physical state. That's how I'm feeling right now. Right, I'm feeling energetic. I don't have a hunger pangs right now, and actually feeling pretty remarkable. All right, because my body is now burning that fuel, is burning that thing that keeps it satisfied. And we'll take a look at blood sugars and see where those are. Right, so mentally I'm clear, I'm focused. Right, I'm experiencing pretty free. I'm pretty clear in my thought process as I went through the day today. Often a lot of people say that sometimes they'll feel kind of cloudy, and I don't have that, right? A lot of times when you start that initial fast, you have that kind of fog and a bit of lethargy. None of that was there as I got into this fast, and as I've moved into the fast. We'll talk a little bit about where I think that's coming from, right? But this clarity revealing, this is a sharpness, right? So I'm aware of my body. I'm sensing when, like Jennifer, I have that pull towards something to eat when I know that I'm not hungry, right? I'm emotionally calm. I'm not irritable, as sometimes you will get when you are not eating. Sometimes when that blood sugar starts to drop, some people become irritable. People who have been on calorie restricted diets, they get irritable. Right. One of the interesting things in the process of fasting versus just cutting back on calories, right? So in the process of cutting back on calories, you eat during the day, you eat during the night or whenever, and often people are snacking as they go through the day. They've cut back on calories, but they're eating more frequent small meals. Well, those meals, what do you think those meals do? They cause a spike in blood sugar. As a result of the spike in blood sugar, it causes a spike in insulin. The insulin makes you hungry, and then you go snack. In the process of fasting, there is no spiking of the blood sugar because you're not putting anything in. And if there's no spiking in the blood sugar, there's no insulin that's coming out. No insulin that's coming out, there's no drive for hunger. We don't have those hunger pangs. We don't have those cravings, if you will, right? So remember that. So that's the difference between fasting, when we're not putting anything in at all, and restricting the calories that we're taking in. Restricting still allows those fluctuations in blood sugar, and that itself can cause some problems for us. All right. So that's physically, that's mentally. So strategies and coping mechanisms, right? So to navigate this journey, remember, I have been preaching, I've been talking about preparing to get into the fast. The way you get into the fast and the success you have in the fast is heavily based on how you prepare. So I've been relying on hydration, making sure that I've been rested as I move into the fast, make sure that prior to the fast, I have a balanced meal so I don't go gorge and I don't stuff food in because I know I'm going to be fasting, right? That defeats the whole purpose. So I'm making sure that I'm drinking, I'm getting good rest. On Monday, the last show that we did, we talked about mindful eating, right? Mindful eating. If you have not done that yet, go back and watch that show. But mindful eating, mindful meditation also is a way of making it through the fast, particularly if you're doing an extended fast, right? As you are meditating, as you're being mindful, as you're listening to your body, as you are doing your mantras and doing your morning routine and all those things that go into being mindful, this helps you to stay centered, right? It helps you to stay centered and to listen to the body signals. And also keeping myself engaged, right? So keeping myself engaged at work, of course, here in this space, as we as a community come together and help each other through the process, that helps me work through the time. One of the reasons that I talked about starting your fast at nighttime is that part of the time you're sleeping, right? Can you imagine if you started it in the morning, right? Now I've got a whole 12 hours before I'm going to go to sleep. But when I started at night, by the time I wake up in the morning, I've already gone through 8 hours of the fast, right? And then during the day, I'm at work, so I'm busy. I'm engaged. So all of those things are good strategies and coping mechanisms to help you get through the fast. So some observations and some insights. So one of the most striking observations, I guess, is my body's ability to thrive under what traditionally people have said is deprivation. Right? Because that's what they've said. They say, hey, when you're not eating, you're depriving yourself. And so you're going to have, and they kind of come up with all these different things, symptoms that you're going to have, and all these issues that can come up. Well, the body is resilient. And if you prepare to get into the fast, and as you go through the fast, if you're mindful, remain hydrated, and as Jennifer did, went ahead and got some electrolytes, then the body has the ability to move through this process with much efficiency, right? So energy, efficiency, I've got some mental clarity and emotional introspection. All of those things are the insights that I'm getting as I'm moving through this fast, right? And it's this less is more philosophy when it comes to eating. Less is more. This fast is showing us that our bodies have the ability to function on less food as we switch over to those ketones. Switch over to the fat, and of course, fat. When you burn fat, you get the ketones. The ketones help the body to kind of move through and be successful. Okay. So what have been some challenges? Well, the challenges that I've had have been really kind of social. So at work, right? So I started my fast on Tuesday evening. So at work, we have our meeting. We have our team meeting on Tuesday. So the drug reps or whoever at the office may purchase food. So we eat the food. And so I have meetings in the afternoon. So as I get into the afternoon, if you remember a couple of weeks ago, I actually went from a meeting directly into my fast. And so I've got to be able to kind of manipulate, if you will, those times and the meetings, or change them around so that I move into the fast, not from kind of the stressful environment or not having eaten, And so this past week, it was okay, good. I did a good job of getting through all of that and getting into the fast. But the other thing is, I mean, the rest of the days I'm at work, and guess what the rest of the team is doing? They're eating. Okay. Or if I go down to the cafeteria to get something to drink, the people are down there, and guess there's food all around. So that's that thing about habit, right? So that's part of the habit process. And then the other one, remember the HEA, and the A is access. So you go down to the cafeteria, and guess what? There's access. There's food all around. And particularly if you have a card that you can just swipe and get some food and take with you, right? Because the food there for the physicians, there's free food. So you get down there, and guess what? There's all this stuff there. So mine has been kind of a social. And so as I move back to the office, I'm not hungry, but my brain is telling me, hey, it's lunchtime, it's this time, it's supper time. Okay. So that has been one of the challenges for this week. I didn't have that so much last week or the week. Or actually, this is the first week that's actually been kind of an issue. And just as Jennifer said, drank water and mindfully reminded myself of what I was doing, why I was doing it, and what was it that was pulling me to get the food. And it was not hunger. It wasn't even an emotion, or it wasn't even the pull for taste. It was a habit. That's what I usually do at that time. And it was easily accessible. So habit and access. Okay. I've not withdrawn, right, from those people. I've not withdrawn from the team. I've not withdrawn from my family, because for me, that would be more detrimental. So now I'm isolated, and so the emotions come out, and that now, not only do I have habit, now I have the emotions and I have access, and that is a formula for not having a good time. Okay. But so I'm curious to hear about your experiences with fasting. What challenges have you faced, and how have you overcome them? Go ahead and drop those in the comments. If you're watching this on the replay, love to hear. Share your stories in the comments below. If you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and put #replay and drop those in. Your insights will enrich this community, and we'll talk more about that here as we get closer to what I want you to do. This provides support, encouragement as we continue this journey that we're using right now to put our diabetes in remission, to reverse our diabetes, and to get the health and the life that we've always wanted. Okay. So as we look ahead to the final 20 hours, final 19 hours, let's see, we're 53 hours and 21 minutes. I'm preparing for a mindful, careful food reintroduction. Okay. We'll come back. We'll talk about that here in just a sec. So let's go ahead and thank you all for being here. Let's go ahead and let's hop over and let's do our numbers. Let's see what numbers we have, y'all. Let's start by looking at my Libre. And right now, my Libre is telling me that my blood sugar is 62. And if you look at the graph down there at the bottom, you'll see that for most of the last 12 hours, about 10 hours or so, my blood sugars have been in the red, right? And not feeling it, feeling clear, as I mentioned before, not feeling cloudy. Physically, I don't feel weak or tired. So that's amazing. That's an amazing thing. You should be also asking, hey, once again, why isn't your blood sugar lower? And if it's that low, why don't you feel it? And this goes back to the ketones. So my body is currently now using ketones to burn or to run the system. And so I feel pretty good. All right, now let's hop over and let's take a look at what the Dexcom is saying. And so Dexcom right now is telling us that my blood sugar is 87. Now, one thing that I do want to do, let's see, where is that? One thing that I do want to share is I get the question often about the difference between monitors when you look at a particular monitor. And so I want to take a look at some of these monitors. Let me pop that up. Let's take a look at this one. Okay. And so on the screen right now, you'll see the very first one to the left with the red 67 blood sugar. That's what my glucose, my Libre showed today. That was about 130, 127. And at the same time, my Dexcom was saying my blood sugar was 99. That's the one right next to it. Over to the right, next to the Dexcom, is what my blood sugar was on my my contour meter. And then finally, you'll see over to the far right is what my blood sugar was on my Keto Mojo meter. Right. So now you'll see at the same time, within a minute of each other, actually. Yeah, I think all of them. Yeah. So the contour was 126 this afternoon. The other three were at 127, which shouldn't make that much difference. But you'll see how different those numbers are. Now, look at the Keto Mojo, the last one, and then the one right before it. Those are closer to each other. All right. So the one is 75, one is 76. 75, and one is 71. There is another, let's see if I pull that. Here's another one, and this is at a different time. This is at 6:05, 6:04 this afternoon. And you'll see my Libre is 64. My Dexcom is 88. The Contour said that my blood sugar was 71. And then the Keto Mojo said it was 70. So the Keto Mojo and the Contour are closest to each other. And then the other two are off. Not off, but they are different numbers. Okay. All right. So that's what we're seeing there. So let's go over, now that we've done that, let's hop over and let's take a look to see what my meters, these meters now are actually saying. So my Dexcom says my blood sugar is 87. My Libre says it's 61. And let's take a look at, this one. Okay, here we go. Move that over a little bit. And I'm going to get a strip. Strip out of here. I'm going to go ahead and pop that in here. That will come on. And here I'm going to start with the glucose strip so that we can get all of these together. All right, so put that one up there, put this one down here. So I think you can see those. And I'm going to use the new Lancets that I got. Let's go ahead and pop those. And one of the things that I want to point out, so on my fingers, and you guys probably can't see that well, but so this is the finger that I do most often. I do that because it doesn't hurt. But today I was in the office, my hands were cold, and when I pricked it, I did not get a good drop of blood. So I moved over to another finger, and of course that hurt a little bit more. But so let's do that. I'm going to do this finger. Okay, and so here, and you'll see that takes a little bit. It's a little chilly in here. That's one of the things that you'll find is when your hands are cold, you'll have to kind of milk it a little bit more. So, okay, here's my drop of blood. Let's get that here on the Keto Mojo. Get another drop, and we'll get that here on the Contour meter. And we'll see what those show. So my Keto Mojo says my blood sugar is 73. And then this meter here says that it's 63. So they're 10 off from each other. Okay. Go ahead and get this one out because I want to go and see what my ketones are. What do you think my ketones are going to be? If you go ahead and pop into the comments, what do you think the ketones will be? Okay, let's take a look. See that in just a few seconds. And you see on the Libre right now, my blood sugar has gone down even further to 60. All right, 2.3. 2.3 is what and let's hop over here and we'll have the app pull all that information in. Great place for us to talk a little bit about ketones, right? So let me pop that in. Let me come over here for a minute. So ketones. as we've said, so ketones are an alternative source of energy in the body. The body can run on ketones. Where do ketones come from? When the body burns fat, it produces ketones, and then it can use those ketones for energy, just like a hybrid car. When you can switch between gas and you can switch between the battery. Okay, and that's what the body's doing. It goes from burning sugar, burning glycogen, to burning fat, and then burn the ketones that results from that. So ketones, when we look at the levels, ketones less than 0.5 are considered normal. 0.5 to about 1.5 are considered nutritional ketosis. And then above that is considered therapeutic ketosis. And so when we look at my numbers right now, so the most recent one was, let's see, I think, was it 63? Yeah, there it is. So 73, right? 73 is my blood sugar, which is the tannish bar graph that you see down there at the bottom. And then ketones are 2.9. If I look at my actual graph, you'll see that my ketones, with the tan graph is my blood sugar, and then the one at the bottom is the ketones. And so the ketone graph crosses the glucose graph, and the ketones got higher as the blood sugars got lower. Okay, so here's what my ketones were, 2.9. And this is what my blood sugar is, 73. So right now, my body is burning ketones for energy, right? Burning ketones for energy. And that's exactly what we want it to do. So now let me hop over and let's take a look at this graph, or this report, I guess I should say. And this is the Libre. And let's scroll down to those graphs for today so we could take a look and see what's been going on. Actually, not just today. We'll take a look at when we started fasting on Tuesday and then coming into today. So let's see. Tuesday was the 20th. What was the day? No, today is the 29th. Actually, y'all, it's not, yes, I was going to say the 1st, but it's the 29th. So, all right, so here we are. So Tuesday. And let me get my mouse so you guys can see a little bit better. Turn that on. Here we go. Okay. So, on Tuesday, the 27th, I started fasting right in this area right here. Actually, let me do it this way. All right, so that's 6 p.m. And then, of course, Wednesday at 6 p.m. would have been 24 hours. And then on Thursday at 6 p.m. would be 48 hours. And then we, of course, are out here right close to midnight. So we're 54 hours coming up in just another 28 minutes or so. And looking at the blood sugars, you'll see that we really kind of straddled 70. That's you see that red line that's down there at the bottom? Right. So right above that red is 70. So below the red is below 70, so 69 and lower. And so during that entire time, right, so this afternoon starting, I don't know, let's see, 12, 2, so about right around 4 o'clock. So right around 4 o'clock, you see the blood sugars go down, and they kind of stayed below 70 into the rest of the evening. And so when I take a look at my Libre right now, you'll see that it's still remaining 61. And look at the graph down below. See there, it's red, and it continues to go down. Now there's a period there where it was right at 70, and then it dropped below 70, and then came back up, and then went down, came back up. And then, of course, for the last, since around 3 o'clock, it's been hanging out, 4 o'clock has been hanging out below 70 that entire time. Yep. So beautiful. I love it. And remember, as this is occurring, as we're moving through the different stages, right? The first 24 hours, then 24 to 48 hours, and then in this case, 48 to 72 hours, that not only are we improving blood sugar, but remember all the different things that we talk about improving by this fast. Now, why would someone do an extended fast? Well, someone who has significant metabolic disease, someone who has significant complications, someone who has, and I shouldn't even say metabolic disease, right? If you're diabetic, if you're on medication, then an extended fast is a wonderful opportunity to begin helping your body become more sensitized to the insulin that it makes, and to begin reversing that insulin resistance. And actually, I heard one expert say that we should actually just call it hyperinsulinemia, because what was going on, we have too much insulin in the body and we're needing to decrease the amount of insulin. But it improves so many different things in our body. So polycystic ovarian syndrome, metabolic syndrome, decreases the risk of coronary artery disease. It helps with fatty liver, right? Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, hypertension, hyperlipidemia, all of those things. But of course, we're talking specifically for adults with type 2 diabetes here, and we're talking about, hey, how do we reverse your diabetes? But not only does that happen, but the side effects, y'all, are some of the things that you see. And for people who don't have diabetes, the side effect of the process that we are promoting is that those diseases get better, right? So those things get better with this same process as well. And so just excited that is something that we're able to do and able to show. All right. So once again, if you are out there and you are fasting with us, let us know. I'd love to hear your story. As I look ahead to the final 24 hours, I'm preparing for careful and mindful food reintroduction, right? Because the way you reintroduce food, the way you break the fast is just as important as how you could do the fast. So there are 3 phases. It's the preparation for the fast, it's the fast itself, and then how we break the fast. The plan is to break the fast gently and with easily digestible foods. That's why you see me when I do it. I do bone broth and some other things. And come on back tomorrow. You'll see what we'll be doing. In our next update, I'll share more about the process, and you'll actually see me break the fast here on the show, and offering some tips and some consideration for planning to undertake a fasting journey as we move into the next week. Yes. As always, my 3 asks for you is 1, go ahead and work through our challenges. Our challenge for this month, it was to work our way up so that we can have 24 hours once a week of fasting, right? A calorie fast. All we're taking in is water. You can do unsweetened tea. I've talked to you and said, hey, we can probably do some coffee, black coffee. Okay, we'll allow that. But that's number 1. That's the ask. Come along with us. Move through the process with us. Even if you're finding us now for the first time, if you're watching this on the replay, it may not be January or February. That's okay. Start where you are and move along in the process with us. And then go back and watch some of the older videos, the previous videos that we've done. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, come on to the show. We do a show on Mondays at 7 Central every week, unless it's specified. The community is better. The community grows. The community helps. The community is vibrant. The community is strong when you come, just like Jennifer did and came and shared with us what's going on in her fast, and that she's going along with me and with the rest of you who are out there fasting. That's the second ask. And then finally, you know someone who needs this information. You know someone that could benefit, someone who's diabetic, someone who's pre-diabetic, someone who has coronary artery disease, someone who has metabolic syndrome, polycystic ovarian syndrome, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, hypertension, hyperlipidemia. You know so many people. Share this with them. Let them know what's going on. Let them know what we are doing on the show. Invite them here. Send them the link. Go get them and bring them. Say, hey, let's watch this together because we are stronger. We are better when we work together. All right. So Jennifer, we've got just a little while more to go. We can do it, right? And if you're fasting, wherever you find yourself, work your way up. If you sleep for 8 hours and you haven't been fasting when you wake up, add 2 hours to that 8, make it 10. If you've been fasting for 10 hours, add 2, make it 12. If you've been fasting for 12, make it 14. If you're doing 14, do 16. All the way until you can do 24 hours. And then the goal is 24 hours once a week of fasting, a calorie fast. Yeah, right. All right. So I'm excited for where I am, excited for where you are, and I'm looking forward to our check-in again as we do that tomorrow, and actually as we break the fast at our 72 hours. This is Dr. Dwayne Wood, y'all. Glad that you're here. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here on the channel, I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health in your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. And in this year, y'all, new year, new you. Good night. We'll see you at the next show.